I'm Doug.
And I'm Cathy.
And this is Maggie Mae. Join us as we follow the moon. Today we're coming to you from North Dakota, and we're going to start off showing you the Enchanted Highway in today's video. And you can start to see a little bit of it here behind us. This is not the normal sort of creatures that you see roaming around North Dakota, so don't get too concerned. But we're going to show you around the Enchanted Highway as well as Dickinson, and come along with us and enjoy the journey.
Thanks.
Now, the Enchanted Highway you really can't miss. You'll see it right from I-94 where it starts. Just take exit 72 and you'll see this setting right along the road. This is the first one that you see is called Geese in Flight, and the fellow that made these made them all out of recycled metal. There you can see the size of it. This is actually in the Guinness Book of World Records for the largest metal sculpture. But the other ones along the highway aren't tiny in comparison either.
Not at all.
The next one down the road, and it's only a couple of miles away, in fact, if you know where you're looking, you can see this one from the first one, is the deer family.
You can actually see it from 94 if you know where to look.
That's right. One thing I like so much about these, they're creative and imaginative, but he's built a maze beside this one. So there's things to keep the younger ones in the car entertained while you're going down the Enchanted Highway. Now, you go through the little town of LaFour, and we captured this along the way. This was their original bank building, setting out along the road. Those are all the people involved with the bank, and that's all the bigger it is. But that's what the bank building was in that town originally.
Do you think it went under?
I had to do a little bit of jumping over. The next one we come to is called Grasshoppers in the Field. And there is even back there a little ride-on grasshopper and like monkey bars.
I love the different sizes of them and all the plants.
Yeah, the big one is massive, but the other ones are equally detailed. And again, as you go down along this road, you see all these great ruins. It really does take you back to another time.
The layers on that.
Yep. The stucco and the stone underneath it. And
yeah.
From those ruins there, you can see the next one. This one's called Fisherman's Dream. This is probably the most elaborate one of all of them. You can see the water line up there, that big rainbow trout breaking through the water, chasing after that dragonfly.
This was my favorite because it is so colorful.
Yeah, it is so detailed. You have to just picture yourself being under the water. That boat was actually the fellow that built this, his father's boat that he put up there in his memory. And there's another boat down there that's sunken on the bottom of the water. You can see why. But it has steps going up it, so kids can go up it and play on it. You can get pictures.
That's right.
Next down the road were Pheasants on the Prairie. And you've got a pheasant family complete with 3 little ones.
Everything in his collection is stuff that is common throughout the countryside.
Now, this one is called Teddy Rides Again. And there is the stagecoach out in front, and there is the outline of Teddy Roosevelt on his horse. That famous pose. This one was actually the first one that he ever built, called the Tin Family. And it has Tin Ma and Tin Pa there.
And the Tin Ken.
There you go.
Kid. The Tin Kid.
And again, they are enormous. You can see them from a mile or two away as you're coming towards them. This all brings you into the little town of Regent, North Dakota, which I have to say, there's really no other reason to go to Regent, but they built this great historical society museum all the way along the one side of the main street. It is only open from Memorial Day to Labor Day. And there's the whirligig. You walk up to it and you press the green button and it all comes to life.
That was cool. But my favorite was next door.
Next door is the Enchanted Highway gift shop. And they have some amazing things there that are all done with these sculptures that you see along the Enchanted Highway. And they're really cool. It also has the Guinness Book of World Records certificate for the largest one there for the geese in flight. I love the tree there, but he made it too. They've got a nice little shaded area if you want to sit outside there. And they had good ice cream.
Yes, they did.
So just about a mile outside of town, you come to the Enchanted Castle, which has a restaurant, a hotel, everything within that castle. And then the big Excalibur, you can see he's standing there with the sword facing off the dragon.
I wonder who wins.
We laughed like a couple of kids going down the road because it was like a giant scavenger hunt.
Absolutely.
Now the next thing we come to is Fort Saurkraut. And Fort Saurkraut is unlike any fort I've ever seen. It had just rained a lot. The road was muddy. We parked at the bottom and walked up. And it is built into the ground. They've got all the history of the fort there. This is what you see inside it. Not an awful lot of space. But it is pretty well protected and pretty well invisible because of the way the grass grows up it. Now this is a must stop. This is Assumption Abbey. And this abbey is run by an order of the monks, and they have become very famous for a few things. You can go in, you can do a self-guided tour. We were very fortunate. Father Basil came and escorted us through it and explained everything as you go. They have a wine cellar in the basement where the wines are for sale. And I will say from the one bottle we've tried so far, very good. He took us a few places you don't normally see. This is an interior courtyard that's just beautiful. This was up in the loft looking over the sanctuary.
This was just so beautiful and inspirational.
This is one of the bell towers. That's another one of those places you don't normally get to go.
Yeah.
He was wonderful. He took us on a great exploration. They have done a lot of renovations on this. They've done new electrical systems. They've done a lot of new floor. The brick floor in the sanctuary is just beautiful. The stained glass windows are original to the church. And this is their little gift shop. They also do great homemade bread. That's one thing they're known for. And he manned the camera for us and got a nice picture of us too, so thank you. Now next up, we stopped at the Stark County Veterans Memorial that's right in Dickinson where we were staying. They've got a really, really nice Veterans Memorial. It lists everybody that was involved in all of the conflicts that are from the Dickinson area there.
Very peaceful place too.
Yeah, they've done a beautiful job with that park. The building you saw with the red facade on it there is open and available for different types of seminars and things for veterans. Now the Badlands Dinosaur Museum, this place is absolutely incredible. We had seen good things and good reviews about it online, but they didn't even stand up compared to what this place was. There are all kinds of cases of different rocks, minerals,
precious stones,
as well as fossil artifacts.
Yeah.
This Cathy found, I thought this was so neat, fluorescent minerals. I saw the sign, but I didn't go in the little room, and in that little room are all these fluorescent minerals. Those are all eggs, different creatures, different sizes, and what they look like when they would be hatching.
Yes.
This is an area where they actually work with some of the larger pieces to get the fossils out of them. And they have some tremendous fossils on display.
It was one of the nicest collections I've ever seen.
Yeah, absolutely. And some really huge pieces.
So amazing to think of those things roaming around.
Yeah. And some of them are small, some of them are dog size, and some of them are just incredibly massive. That guy, I'm not sure what he was. He was a mixture of a few different things, it looked like.
He had feathers, but he didn't fly.
Mm-hmm. That was a winged one. You can see the wingspan on it. And that one just looked too much like a crocodile for me. That one gives you the bison skeleton and the longhorn skeleton and how similar and different they are. And those are different skulls going up to a modern human at the top and back to one of the older examples and how the skull shape has changed. Now, attached to the Dinosaur Museum is the Joachim Regional Museum. And this has a lot of things of how the people in the area lived during older times. And outside is the Pioneer Museum. Again, the Pioneer Museum's open from Memorial Day till Labor Day. These petrified tree stumps were actually found in an old mine underground. And they were brought up and put there on display. Now, Dickinson's also one of the few places that has a Ukrainian Cultural Institute. This has been around for quite a number of years, and there's a good-sized Ukrainian population there in Dickinson and in the surrounding area. You can look at those faces and see that there's a lot of hardworking people in those pictures.
That's right.
This shows you some of their dress. These decorated eggs are really a big thing in their culture, and they have cases of them, and they are beautiful. This is an altar from one of the Ukrainian churches that has been donated here. And they've got a great library if you want to do any research into the Ukrainian peoples and what their traditions are. These are pictures of what they call their Hall of Fame, that are Ukrainian citizens that have made a difference in the area. I don't know if pierogies and pierogies are nearly the same thing, but the pierogies are stuffed with sauerkraut or potato.
The eggs were just beautiful.
They do offer the pierogies available there to purchase too. I think they were 2-pound bags you could take home. And that coat.
Yeah.
That had to be warm. Now this one is located inside the Dickinson State University, and it's the Theodore Roosevelt Center. This is a model of a library that was in one of his residences. And in that library, they keep it very climate controlled because they have a lot of first editions of his books. That one was even autographed by him.
I had no idea he was such a prolific writer.
I have no clue as to how many books he authored or co-authored, but it's got to be in the hundreds. That was one of his desks. This was his first wife in that picture, and she passed away on Valentine's Day, the exact same day that his mother passed away, and this was his diary entry from the day. There's a $30 royalty he got from one of his books. Kind of sounds like YouTube.
I know.
But yeah, he did some drawings and everything. This is one of his typewriters.
It was really interesting.
Keep in mind, Dickinson, you're only a half hour to an hour, depending which part you go to, from Theodore Roosevelt National Park. He has a cabin out there. This area is, he's very steeped in this area. Here are some of his books in all different languages. He loved the outdoors, he loved nature. That was one reason he was so much backing the national parks. But yes, if he wasn't writing, he was reading.
There's a book in his hand he'd been reading while he was getting his portrait done.
With his fingers stuck in the pages so he wouldn't lose his place.
That's right.
This is his son at 5 years old. I don't know if you've noticed that one book said it was written by Mrs. Theodore Roosevelt.
Yeah.
Times have changed. But it's a great place to go to really get an insight into what our president was like. Well, Cathy, we've had a lot of things to see around Dickinson, North Dakota, and the town and all the area around it. What did you think?
It's been pretty amazing, very educational.
A lot of
I really
heritage.
enjoyed it, yes, absolutely.
Whether you're talking about Theodore Roosevelt, whether you're talking about the Ukrainian population, the Abbey, I mean, there's so much. It's so rich in its culture and its history.
Absolutely.
If you've enjoyed our video today, please leave us a thumbs up. We appreciate it. And if you haven't already subscribed, watch for the button over in the corner. If you tap that button, ring the notification bell, you'll know when every one of our videos come out.
And thank you for following us as we follow the movie.